there, it's Jamie from Play to Learn Preschool. I just started this video and about 1 minute into it, Facebook kicked me off and said that we were done. So my fingers are crossed this is gonna work. I'm sorry if you're watching the minute live, it just logged me off. I don't know why that happened. Hi, so what I was saying, and I'm gonna just kind of start over, is that today I'm gonna share with you some of the books that I like to read with our students during the Polar Animals unit. We study polar animals starting with the North Pole, so studying Arctic animals like polar bears, Arctic hares, Arctic foxes, snowy owls, walruses, all those North Pole animals, caribou and reindeer. And then we spend a separate amount of time studying the South Pole animals, the Antarctic penguins and different types of penguins. I love to wrap this unit all up with a comparison. Sorry, Wanda, I don't know what happened. I was just talking along and it was like, video ended. Sorry. I like to end this unit by tying it all together with this really abstract concept of opposites. Opposites are a really important thing for preschoolers to be able to understand and to be able to match and identify, but it's an impossibly abstract topic to just teach them out of the blue, to say, okay, we're going to learn about opposites. Opposites are two things that are really different from each other. They're as different as can be. And then if you don't have good examples, the kids just really have a hard time understanding it. Studying polar animals and then following it up with that abstract opposites concept is the perfect tie-in, because we're already talking about opposite ends of the earth, opposite types of animals, black and white, and it lends itself very naturally to a study and introduction of opposites. So what I'm going to do with you is share 6 of our favorite opposites books. 3 are real quick, just concept books, and then 3 storybooks, an activity that we like to do. And first I'm going to tell you that if you are studying polar animals or opposites, that it's really important that you show the kids a globe. They need to be able to picture what we're talking about. I know from teaching my own preschoolers over the years that when we talk about the North Pole, they are thinking of one thing only. They are thinking Santa, 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 Santa and the reindeer and the elves, and that's it. And so what I like to try to tell them is when we look at this globe, which is like a big ball type picture of the earth that we live on, and we find where we live, which is this teeny tiny little dot in Virginia. My 3-year-olds are like, hey, I live in Virginia. And the kid next to him is like, no, I live in Virginia. I'm like, we all live right here on this teeny tiny dot. All of us, all right here on this teeny tiny dot. I just try to give them an idea of the scope of the size of the globe. But to give them this visual to say that we are going to talk about animals that live up here at the top of the earth in the North Pole. And I even teach them, even my 3-year-olds, the vocabulary for this area at the top of the earth is the Arctic Circle. And then we talk about the area at the very bottom of the earth called the South Pole. Look, it's as far away as you can get. The North Pole and the South Pole are as far away from each other as you can get. There are no 2 places that can be as far apart. And the South Pole area is called Antarctica. And believe it or not, even my 3-year-olds eat that up. They love the vocabulary. They love to know all these, I always call them smart words. So I'm going to tell you a really smart word. Do you think you can stick it in your brain? Is there room in your brain for a really smart word like Antarctica? And they're like, oh, yes, there is definitely room in my brain. And I'm like, all right, here comes the word. Antarctica. Can you say it? It's such a long word. Can we clap it? Antarctica. Woo, that's a long word. And then they go home, and I've even had parents text me sweet little videos of their kids at dinner, and they're sitting at the table and they're like, okay, Mom, I'm going to tell you a really smart word. It's Antarctica. Can you say it? Which is so sweet when they take that home. But they are capable of learning those words. Anyway, so we introduce the idea of polar animals and polar opposites on a globe. And then, after we've talked about the polar animals and the other Arctic animals, polar bears, and the Antarctic penguins and South Pole animals, then I like to tie it all together with a week where we just talk about opposites. So pulling what they know and what we've been talking about with North Pole and South Pole, with white polar bears and black penguins. We're trying to pull that together. So there's actually a word for things that are so different that they'll never meet. The polar bear on the top and the penguin on the south, they will never meet. They're so far apart. They're so very different. And the word for that is opposite. And then again, put that smart word in your brain, see if you can remember it. 3 of the books that I like to read with the students during that week are these 6 that I'm about to share with you. So the first, I said 3 of the books, and then I said 6, but hang in with me. These 3 are just concept books. So this first one is by Rosalinda Keightley. It's called Opposites. You'll see it's super simple. It would never be a book that I would read during story time because it doesn't have a story, but it's perfect for circle time when we're very first introducing opposites. So this frog is jumping up. This frog is doing the exact opposite. He's jumping down. Can you read it? Up, down. Super simple. Every page is like this. This clown is happy. This clown is the opposite. He is sad. Happy, sad. Super simple, right? In, out, hot, cold. And I would just introduce this in circle time. So when we're first learning about that word opposite, but we have all the background knowledge because we've been learning about the North Pole and the Arctic Circle, and we learned about the South Pole and Antarctica, we could definitely start to then say, hey, I think those are opposites. This is another super simple one, this We Sing and Learn Opposites book. Sing and Learn Opposites book. And it has some pictures of opposites on the cover page, and then it's big and little. Again, super simple, probably not even worth a story time, but good for circle time. Bonnie Bear is big, Buddy Bear is little. Susie Squirrel is up, Sammy Squirrel is, and I would let them fill it in. And I'd say, wow, you're such a good reader. You knew exactly that word was going to be down. Freddie Frog is happy, Frida Frog is, wow, you're such good readers. You knew that was going to say sad because it's the opposite. And I would just introduce this again. It's so quick during circle time. This one is by Harriet Ziefert, who is famous for her beginning reader books. It's called You and Me, We're Opposites. The lion says, I come, you go. I'm nice, you're grouchy. I'm up, you're down. I'm big, you're little. Every page is the same. And then at the very end, it says, super cute, because obviously they're at the zoo, right? So at the end it says, the zookeeper says, I'm awake, they're asleep. Phew. Which is the thought we all have when we're in like nap time or bedtime if we're parents, right? I'm awake, you're asleep. Shoo! All right, so those are 3 that are good for introducing it during circle time. And these are the 3 that I will probably choose to read during story time for my students. So this is a new one that we actually picked up at the NACCE Expo exhibit hall this November. It was at the Bookvine booth. And I love that Bookvine booth because the ladies who work for Bookvine publishers or Bookvine, it's not a publisher, it's like a book curator, they come up with this catalog of the best books each year, and they pointed this one out to me, and I fell in love with it because the pictures are more complex and more interesting than just up, down, black, white, so look at this one. It says, First Concepts with Fine Artists, Up, Down, and Other Opposites by Ellsworth Kelly. It says, oh, look, opposites. This square is huge, and these squares are tiny. Huge, tiny. Isn't the artwork beautiful? These rectangles are short, and these are the opposite of short, tall. Are these opposites? One is empty and the other is full. Is red on top or on the bottom? And how about here? It's the opposite, which that's more complex, right? Have red on top, blue on the bottom, blue on top, red on the bottom. They're opposites. That's more complex than just plain black and white. These squares are apart, but they want to be together. There you go. Snuggle up. Together, these stripes are horizontal, laying down. Stand up, stripes. Go vertical. Is this line standing up straight? Follow it with your finger. Now for the opposite, follow the curvy line. An interactive one too. This curve goes up over a hill, and this curve goes down into a valley. Ouch! Watch your fingers. This looks very rough. Ah, there we go. Something smooth. Are you hungry for a black triangle? Would you like a whole or just a half? Would you like a thin line or a thick line? Wait, what's this? It looks like the back of a painting. Where is the front? Oh yes, there it is. You're very clever. Final question. What is the opposite of dark? You're right. It's light. Super simple, but I love to read this one because it's more interactive and the kids can guess and they can trace the lines with their fingers. So this is a really good one. And then these last two are my very favorite. I've saved the best for last. This is by Karma Wilson and Jane Chapman. They are the authors of Bear Snores On and Bear Stays Up Late and all the bear books. And this one is called Big Bear, Small Mouse. And it's super cute, of course, as you would expect from Karma Wilson and Jane Chapman. And it's kind of cumulative. So it keeps adding on more opposites until the end. You'll see that there are so many opposites. So Big Bear, Small Mouse. Mouse hops onto Bear. He is careful not to fall. Bear is big, big, big. Mouse is small, small, small. Small mouse, big bear. Bear and Mouse both wave to their friends as they go past. Badger moseys slowly, but Hare runs very fast. Slow Badger, fast Hare. Small Mouse, big Bear. See the add-on? What's that up above? There's a flutter in the sky. Wren is flying low while Owl is flying. And they all say, hi. Wow, you're so smart. You read that. You know the opposite of low is high. There's a clatter in the glen. High Owl, low Wren. Slow Badger, fast Hare. Small Mouse, big Bear. Mole and Gopher tunnel up and join the happy crowd. The sun sets on the quiet woods, but the friends are loud. Quiet woods, loud friends. High Owl, low Wren. Slow Badger, fast Hare. Small Mouse, big Bear. Raven flies down from the sky. Look, here comes a storm. Outside it's getting wet and cold, but the lair is nice and, what's the opposite of cold? Warm. Good reading. All together, gathered there. Cold night, warm lair. Quiet woods, loud friends. High Owl, low Wren. Slow Badger, fast Hare. Small Mouse. And the last page says, Big Bear. Isn't that super cute? So that's a good one for story time. And my final one that I always save for the very last day of this unit because I feel like it's the perfect book for tying together polar animals, opposites, all the things. It's called Polar Opposites by Erik Brooks. Are you familiar with this story? If you teach a polar animals unit, you have to have this book. It's the perfect book. It ties the whole thing together in this nice, neat little package. It's perfect. And I got it from Scholastic on a CD so the kids can even listen to it themselves. So it's called Polar Opposites. You see him sending a letter, and Xena the penguin is sending a letter. Alex is a big polar bear. Xena is a tiny penguin. And you see they're opening their letters. This one is to Alex, and this is to Xena. Alex and Xena are polar opposites. They live on opposite sides of the world. Alex lives in the Arctic. Xena lives in the Antarctic. Alex is mostly white with some black. Xena, doing a crazy thing here. Xena is mostly black with some white. Alex is shaggy. Xena is smooth. Polar opposites are different in so many ways. Alex gets up late. Xena rises early. Alex likes sour things. Xena likes sweet things. Alex is messy. Xena is neat. So it goes on and on to talk about all of their opposites. And then they get on a plane to visit each other. It says even polar opposites can always meet in the middle. So look, there at the Galapagos Islands, right in the middle. And there's all the pictures of their vacation together when they met in the middle. Isn't that super sweet? See you next year. They give each other a hug. It's super sweet. It's the perfect book for finishing this unit because you want something that sort of is a culmination of everything they've learned about all of the polar animals on the North Pole and the South Pole. And if they've also been learning about opposites, this ties it all together. Those are a few of my favorite books. I probably have 10 other opposite books, but these are a few of my favorites. One more thing that we like to do is to play a game with the students on when we're learning about opposites. So I have these opposite cards that I made. They are in the Polar Animals Circle Time unit. So this is one of the Circle Time lessons that's in that Polar Animals unit. And the way we play is I pick out the number of cards that I have from my students. If I have an even number, it's perfect. If I have an odd number, then the teacher will join in too, right? So I pick out the number of pairs, shuffle them all up, and then I let each student choose a picture. And so if you have like 12 students, you need 6 pairs, right? And I think there's 8 or 12 pairs in here. And then we play a game where they have to try to find their opposite pair. So the penguin has to find the polar bear who has the opposite picture. This glass is empty, this glass is full. And then when they find their partner, they're gonna hold hands. So everybody's looking for a partner, trying to find their opposite. They hold hands, and then we go around and just say what their opposite pairs are. Empty and full. We might have somebody who's front and back. Sun and moon, day and night. So they will find their partners, they will say the opposites for the whole class, and then we might try it again, with different partners, or if I've got small classes, so we probably do it again with whole new sets of opposites. So those are some of the things that I like to do with my students. Somebody just mentioned that the Small Mouse Big Bear Carmen Wilson book is in the January Scholastic Book Club flyer. So if you have a Scholastic Book Club account, you need to log on and look for that book. I think this one is also often in there, Polar Opposites. You might need to do a search at the top search bar. It might not be in a flyer, but you can find other books. So try Polar Opposites because it's a Scholastic as well. And it's a really good book. As I don't know if I mentioned that already or not, maybe once or twice. The one other thing that I wanted to mention is that I love to do that finger play that I've done another video on called Two Little Blackbirds. It's an opposites finger play, and it's a good reinforcer during this unit. So if you'll indulge me because I've already done a whole live video about this, but it's really fun to have the kids make little bird beaks like this and say, 2 little blackbirds, or you could change it to penguins. 2 little blackbirds sitting in the sky. One flies low, one flies high. And they try to fill in the opposite. Fly away low, fly away high, come back low, come back high. Or you could put them in a cloud. 2 little blackbirds sitting in a cloud. One is is loud. Fly away, quiet. Fly away, loud. Come back, quiet. Come back, loud. And I have, probably like 10 different versions of it. We might say, 2 little blackbirds sitting in the snow. One is fast. One is slow. Fly away fast. Fly away slow. Come back fast. Come back slow. Right? We could even do like 2 little blackbirds learning how to fly. One starts to laugh. One starts to cry. Fly away, laugh. Fly away, cry. Come back, laugh. Come back, cry. So those are fun, easy, interactive ways to have the kids practice with opposites, make the connections between what you've been learning about with polar animals, and just kind of put it all together. It helps make a very abstract concept, like opposites, much more meaningful, relevant, and easy to understand for 3 to 5-year-olds. Thanks for indulging me in a very late Facebook Live. I appreciate that you were here. I hope you're having an awesome week. I hope you're having fun playing and learning with your kids, and I hope to see you again next time. Bye, everybody.